In this lecture, I am going to explain how to solve a linear programming problem using dual simplex method. So consider this example. Solve the following LPP using dual simplex method. So objective function is minimization here. Subject to the constraints, both are greater than or equal type constraints, and all variables are greater than or equal to 0. Right. So we have to use dual simplex method. Okay. First step, convert the LPP into dual simplex form. So what are the characteristics in the dual simplex form? First, objective function is in maximization form. So here objective function is minimization function. So we have to convert it into maximization. So we know the relation, that is min z equal minus max z, max minus z. So consider max minus z, the maximum of negative of the function, that is minus 4x1 minus 6x2 minus 18x3. Next, what is the second point in the simplex form, dual simplex form? Convert greater than or equal constraints, if any, to less than or equal form by multiplying with minus 1. Okay, so here both are greater than or equal type. So multiply both constraints by minus 1 to convert greater than or equal to less than or equal. So multiply first constraint by minus 1, that is we get minus x1 minus 3x3 greater than become less than or equal to minus 3. Multiply second constraint by minus 1, minus x2 minus 2x3, same inequality become change, less than or equal to minus 5. Okay, and all variables are greater than or equal to 0. So this is dual simplex form. Right, now convert inequalities to equalities. Both are less than or equal type, add slack variables s1 and s2. So first constraint minus x1 minus 3x3 plus s1 equal to minus 3. Second constraint minus x2 minus 2x3 plus s2 equal to minus 5. Write in the matrix form as usual, ax equal to b. The coefficient matrix capital A equal first column x1 variable column, x1 coefficient here minus 1. There is no x1 term in the second constraint, coefficient 0. So x1 variable column minus 1 0. x2 variable column. In the first constraint there is no x2 term, coefficient 0. In the second constraint we have minus x2, so coefficient minus 1, 0, minus 1. Next x3 column minus 3 minus 2. S1 column 1 0, S2 column 0 1. And as usual variable vector capital X is x1, x2, x3, s1, s2. And small b is right side values minus 3 minus 5. Okay. So here observe the standard forms in regular simplex method and in dual simplex method. In regular simplex method, the right hand side values should be non-negative. But here, the right hand side values may be negative. The main thing is all constraints should be less than or equal type here. So that is the main difference for regular simplex and dual simplex. Okay, right. So we need not verify the coefficient matrix to contain unit matrix. Clearly, the coefficient matrix contain unit matrix always here. Since we are adding slack variables in each constraint, automatically the coefficient matrix contain unit matrix. Okay, right. We can find initial basic solution by choosing the variables corresponding to unit matrix as basic variables, that is S1, S2. Okay, so here initial basic not feasible is a mistake. Initial basic solution not feasible. Okay, so choose the variables S1, S2 corresponding to unit matrix as basic variables. Then initial basic solution not feasible. XB equal B inverse B as usual in regular simplex method, capital Xj and delta J values. Okay, so we write all these values in tabular form. Tabular form is also similar as in regular simplex method. First column basic variables, second column CB, third column solution XB, then vectors capital X1, capital X2, capital X3, S1, S2. But here we need not to take last column, that is minimum ratio text. Instead of that, we take here maximum ratio text. And we calculate here delta J values. And here we calculate maximum ratio test. Okay. So this is the structure of table in dual simplex method. Okay. First write the here cost. So what is the objective function? Max minus z equal minus 4x1 minus 6x2 minus 18x3. So x1 cost minus 4, x2 cost minus 6, x3 cost minus 18, s1 cost 0, s2 cost 0, since they are slack variables. Okay. Next, what are basic variables? First variable s1, second variable s2, their cost 0, 0, xb solution, initial basic solution, that is right side values minus 3, minus 5, x1 column, first column minus 1, 0, x2 column 0, minus 1, minus 3, minus 2, 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay, right. Next to find delta J values here. So same formula as in regular simplex method. First delta 1 CB into x1 minus this value. That is 0 into minus 1, 0, plus 0 into 0, 0, minus of minus 4, plus 4. Okay. Same calculation as in regular simplex method. Next delta 2 CB x2 minus C2, this value. That is 0 into 0, 0, plus 0 into minus 1, 0, minus of minus 6, plus 6. Next delta 3 CB into x3 minus C3, e value. So CB 0 into minus 3, 0, plus 0 into minus 2, 0, minus of minus 18, plus 18. And S1, S2 are basic variables, their delta J values 0. Next, as usual, objective function value ZB equals CB into XB. 0 into minus 3 plus 0 into minus 5, 0. ZB is 0. So this is first table, that is initial basic solution. Okay. So which is not feasible. Okay. Right. Now verify the optimality condition. Before that, first verify whether the dual simplex method can be applied to this problem. Okay. For that, observe the delta J values. So what are delta J values here? All delta J are greater than or equal to 0. So we can apply dual simplex method to this problem. Suppose one of the delta J values is negative, we are not able to apply this method. Then the process ends. Okay. So we have to go for regular simplex method to solve such problem. Okay. So here all delta J greater than or equal to 0, we can apply dual simplex method to solve this problem. So verify the optimality condition. So what is optimality condition? All XBI. XBI means this value, these values. This is solution. This is XB1, this is XB2. So all XBI greater than or equal to 0, then the solution is optimal solution. So here all XBI not greater than or equal to 0. So optimal condition is not satisfied. Present solution is not an optimal solution. Now we have to improve the solution. That means we find new basic solution by replacing one of the basic variables by a non-basic variable as it is, but the approach is different. Here first we find leaving basic variable. How do we find leaving basic variable? Take the negative values in the solution and among those negative values find minimum value. So XBR equal minimum of XBI such that XBI less than 0. That is minimum of minus 3 minus 5. This is minimum value. So what is the corresponding variable? S2. That means this is XB2. That is the variable in second position. So XB2. That is S2. So S2 is leaving basic variable. S2 is leaving basic variable. So circle the pivot row. This is pivot row. Next, verify the existence of infeasible solution. So what is the condition for that infeasible solution? Observe the entries in the pivot row. These are the entries in pivot row. If all these entries are greater than or equal to 0, then the problem does not have a feasible solution. Then the process ends. So here observe, all entries in pivot row are not greater than or equal to 0. Some are negative. We consider the negative entries. So we consider these two entries. For these two entries, we take the ratio corresponding with delta J value. So 6 by minus 1. Here write ratio 6 by minus 1. This is negative entry. Consider the ratio corresponding with the delta J value, so 18 by minus 2. So among these two ratios, take maximum value. This is minus 6. This is minus 9. So maximum is minus 6. This is maximum ratio. So what is the corresponding variable? X2. So X2 is entering basic variable. Okay. How do you write in mathematical formulation? Take the ratios delta K by XB, X2K. This is column. We have to find column. So delta K delta K by XRK. We don't know the column. So second suffix we don't know. We have to find second suffix. First suffix we know, that is leaving basic variable suffix. This is the second variable, that is 2. R is 2. So delta K by X2K equal to maximum of delta J by X2J, such that X2J less than 0. So you don't bother about this formula. You can write the ratios directly here. So maximum ratio is this. So X2 is entering basic variable. Circle this column. So this is pivot column. And pivot element is intersection of this row and column, that is minus 1. So in the next solution, this S2 is replaced by X2. So take the structure as it is and take the previous table, table 1. First to fill the basic variables, S2 is replaced by X2. So in the second position X2, first position as it is S1. S1 cost 0, X2 cost minus 6. Right. How do you fill the column? How do you fill the remaining table? As usual, as in regular simplex method, first divide pivot row by pivot element. This is pivot row. Pivot element is minus 1. Divide second row by minus 1 and write in second row. So minus 5 by minus 1, 5. 0 by minus 1, 0. Minus 1 by minus 1, 1. Minus 2 by minus 1, 2. 0 by minus 1, 0. 1 by minus 1, minus 1. So first step, divide pivot row by pivot element. Second step, as usual, fill the basic variable columns with unit matrix. S1 first place, S1 first place 1, remaining zeros, and delta J value also 0. X2 second place, X2 second place 1, remaining zeros, and delta J value also 0. Next, third step, calculate the remaining entries. To calculate this entry, corresponding value minus 3, observe here, present value minus 3, pivot column element 0 by pivot element minus 1 into pivot row element minus 5. So observe here calculation minus 3, this is minus or minus, plus 0 into 5. So for this first row calculation, this 0 is fixed. So 0 into here any value, 0. So this becomes 0. That means we get the same value, minus 3. So for other entries in the first row, we get same values. Okay, this is minus 3. Similarly, other entries remain same, minus 1, minus 3, 0. Since here we have 0, the first row become same. Right. Now calculate delta J values. Here delta 1, CB, X1, that is 0 into minus 1, 0, minus 6 into 0, 0, minus 1, minus 4, plus 4. Next, delta 3, CB into X3, this column into this column, that is 0 into minus 3, 0, minus 6 into 2, minus 12, minus of minus 18, plus 18, minus 12 plus 18, 6. Okay. S2, 0 into 0, minus 6 into minus 1, plus 6, minus 0, so 6. Okay. So these are delta J values and objective function value. CB into XB, 0 into minus 3 plus minus 6 into 5, minus 30. This is objective function value. Okay. Right. We get the new basic solution. Now verify the optimality condition, whether this is optimal solution or not. Again, still observe here delta J values, all delta J greater than or equal to 0. So this dual simplex method can be applied. So you have to keep in mind all these values should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay. Right. Verify the optimality condition. All XBI not greater than or equal to 0. One of the XBI is negative. So all XBI not greater than or equal to 0. So optimal condition is not satisfied. Present solution is not an optimal solution. Next, we improve the solution. First, find leaving basic variable. Take xbr equal minimum of xbi such that xbi less than 0. We have only one negative value. Itself it is minimum value. And the corresponding variable is s1. So s1 is leaving basic variable. And circle the pivot row. Next, observe the entries in the pivot row. So all entries in pivot row are not greater than or equal to 0. So there is no infeasible solution. Next, find the ratios corresponding with delta j values. So this is negative entry. Take the ratio with delta j value 4 by minus 1. This is positive. This is 0. Leave it. Next, 6 by minus 3. And this is positive. Leave it. Okay. So we have two ratios. So maximum of these two ratios. This is minus 4. This is minus 2. So maximum is this ratio. Okay. Right. Mathematically, how do you write? Delta k by XR k. So here R is 1. Delta k by x1k equal to maximum of delta j by x1j such that x1j less than 0. So maximum of these two ratios. So corresponding variable is x3. x3 is entering basic variable and circle this column. This is pivot column. In the next solution, s1 is replaced by x3. So take the structure of the table and take table 2 here. First s1 is replaced by x3. x2 as it is. Next, x3 cost minus 18, x2 cost minus 6. So as usual, first divide pivot row by pivot element, that is minus 3. So minus 3 by minus 3, 1. Minus 1 by minus 3, 1 by 3. 0 by minus 3, 0. Minus 3 by minus 3, 1. 1 by minus 3, minus 1 by 3. 0 by minus 3, 0. Next, fill the basic variable columns with unit matrix. x3 first place 1, remaining 0, and delta j value 0. x2 second place, x2 column second place 1, remaining 0, and delta j value 0. Next, calculate the remaining values. To calculate this value, present value 5, minus pivot column element 2 by pivot element minus 3 into for this pivot row element minus 3. Okay. So this is 5 minus or minus plus 2 by 3 into minus 3. So for this row calculation, plus 2 by 3 fixed, same. We just replace present value and pivot row value. So this is 3 gets cancelled, 5 minus 2, 3. This is 3. To calculate this value, replace just 0 minus 1. Here 0, here minus 1. So 0 plus 2 by 3 minus 1, minus 2 by 3. Next, to calculate here S1. Replace 0, 1. 0 plus 2 by 3 into 1. So 2 by 3. For S2. Replace minus 1, 0. Minus 1 plus 2 by 3, 0. So this is minus 1. Okay. And calculate delta j values. Delta 1. CB x1 minus this value. So minus 18 into 1 by 3. That is minus 6. So minus 18 into 1 by 3. Minus 18 by 3 plus minus 6 into minus 2 by 3 plus 12 by 3 minus of minus 4 plus 4. So simplify this, we get 2. Next, delta S1. CB, this column into this column, that is minus 18 into minus 1 by 3, 18 by 3 plus minus 6 into 2 by 3, that is minus 12 by 3 minus 0. So this gives 2. Similarly for S2, minus 18 into 0, 0, minus 6 into minus 1, 6, minus 0, 6. So these are delta j values. The corresponding objective function value, ZB equals CBXB, that is minus 18 into 1, minus 18 plus minus 6 into 3, minus 18, that is minus 36. Okay. Right. Now verify the optimality condition. So observe here, all delta j are greater than or equal to 0. And observe the solution, all xbi are greater than or equal to 0. So optimality condition is satisfied. So present solution is an optimal solution. Right. Now the optimal solution is, so you have to write only decision variables. So first decision variable is x1. x1 is 0. Here observe, there is no x1 in basic variables. That means x1 is non-basic variable. Always it is 0. So x1 0. x2 basic variable, its solution 3. x3 basic variable, its solution 1. And objective function value max minus z is minus 36. Our original objective function is minimization. So min z equal to minus max minus z. So minus of minus 36, that is 36. This is objective function value. So this is the dual simplex method to solve a linear programming problem. So here the advantage is, even though the constraints are greater than or equal type, we need not use artificial variables. So that is the advantage of this dual simplex method.